Lesson 1-2, Order of Operations. It's important when we evaluate expressions that we make sure that we are doing it in a certain order. And if we all did math problems in all different orders, then we would come up with very different answers. The acronym Pemdas is very often used to help you remember the correct order of operations. To help you remember, just think of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. And while this is useful, it's not perfect. And the reason it's not perfect is because we have to remember a few things. First of all, parentheses could also be grouping symbols. It doesn't just have to be parentheses. It could be brackets, for instance. And then we have to remember, too, that multiplication and division go together. And what we mean by that is that you don't have to do all your multiplication first and then all your division. You do multiplication and division in whichever order it comes up in from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. These two go together as well. And once again, you don't have to do all your addition and then do all of your subtraction. You do your addition and subtraction in whatever order it comes up in, left to right. So really what you have here is actually kind of 4 different steps. So we could look at the parentheses as being the first one, exponents being the second one, multiplication and division together as being the 3rd step, and then addition and subtraction as being the 4th step. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples. If you look at example 1, it says 6 plus 2 times 5 minus 3. If we simply did that in that order from left to right, we would come up with the incorrect answer. We have to remember that we're going to do the multiplication prior to doing any addition or subtraction. So the first thing that we would do then is that multiplication. So we would have 6 plus 10 minus 3. And then now we're left with all addition and subtraction. So we can do those in the order that they come up in from left to right. 6 plus 10 is 16 minus 3. So our final answer would be 13. In example 2, let's take a look at what we should do first. If we look at Pemdas, parentheses comes first, so we do what's inside the parentheses first. So we'll ignore the 3 times 3 in the beginning here, and then we're just going to add 3 plus 7 to get 10. Okay, now remember that if we have a number and then another number in parentheses, that simply means to do multiplication with those two numbers. So what we really have is 3 times 3 plus 5 times 10. And of course we know that we're going to do our multiplication before we do our addition. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 10 is 50. So we come up with a final answer as 59. Next, we're going to look at example 3. And remember Pemdas, P for parentheses. But we said parentheses, we really mean all grouping symbols. So we're going to take a look at this example, and we're going to do everything inside the parentheses first that we can do. So we're going to ignore everything else, just rewrite everything else until we get to our innermost set of parentheses. When you're working with parentheses or grouping symbols, always work from the inside out. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. And of course that's squared. Okay, then we're still going to work inside our grouping symbols. And inside our grouping symbols, we run into some exponents. So 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. We're still working inside the grouping symbol. 4 plus 16 is 20. And this essentially means 3 times 20, which is 60. And that's our final answer. So, just to wrap up, just be sure that when you're working through these, you follow the correct order of operations. Do all your grouping symbols, then take care of exponents, then take care of multiplication and division left to right, then take care of addition and subtraction. So that's the correct order, and that's what we'll practice tomorrow.